Recently at GTC 2026, Jensen Huang made a bold statement: agent as a service is the new norm. Industries are no longer just building SaaS products, they are shifting towards something far more powerful: agent as a service. And this shift is happening faster than most people realize. In my last video, we explored Nemoclaw in depth: what it is, how it is different from OpenClaw, and how it helps you build agents that are secure, reliable, and production ready. But in this video, we are going one step further. We are going to actually set it up from scratch. But before we jump into installation, let's first understand the foundation. What exactly is OpenClaw? OpenClaw is an open source framework that lets you build powerful AI agents that you can actually talk to through platforms like Slack, Telegram, or even WhatsApp, just like chatting with a human. But these agents don't just talk, they can access your file system, send emails, write code, and even build applications for you. They don't just respond, they act. And that's where the problem begins. These agents are extremely powerful because they have the access to your system, your files, environment variables, and other sensitive data. And without proper control, this can even become a serious security risk. And this is exactly where Nemoclaw comes in. Nemoclaw wraps your agent inside a secure container so your agent can run freely without compromising your data or your system. Now, before we install it, let's understand how it actually works. Nemoclaw is built on 3-layer architecture: the sandbox layer, guardrails, and the private inference router. At the core is the sandbox layer. This is where your agent runs, but with strict boundaries. It cannot access files outside the sandbox. It cannot make unauthorized network calls, and it cannot perform actions without permissions. In fact, by default, the agent starts with 0 permissions. Everything has to be explicitly allowed. Next comes the guardrails. This is where policies are enforced. It controls what the agent can access, how the data is handled, and what actions it is allowed to perform. For example, you can define whether the agent can access tools like GitHub or Office 365. You can ensure that sensitive data is filtered properly, and you can restrict what action the agent can take, like allowing it to read emails but not send them or delete them. And the best part, you define these rules once and they apply across all the agents. Finally, the private inference router. This layer decides where your data should go. If your data is sensitive, like personal information, financial data, or code, it stays local. But if it is general query, it can be routed to cloud models, giving you the perfect balance between privacy and performance. On top of all of this, Nemoclaw also provides audit logs, so you can track exactly what your agent did, what data it accessed, and what action it performed. This makes it easier for teams to audit, ensure compliance, and build trust in the system. And that's what complete architecture of Nemoclaw. Now, let's move to the exciting part. Let's set it up step by step.
Now we will see what all things we need to configure to make Nemoclaw up and running on your system. So first we need to configure VPS server, and inside that we are going to configure OpenShell and sandbox, and then we would be configuring the SSH port forwarding, with the help of which we would be able to access OpenClaw in our local laptop. So with that, let's go to the Nemoclaw NVIDIA website. We can click on try it now, and here we would see that it is showing $13 per hour. And if I'll just multiply with 24 and then with 30, then it would be costing around $94 for running this particular machine per month, and that would be too much. I also encountered the same problem, and while searching for the solution, I encountered Hostinger. Hostinger is a platform which provides VPS service at a much cheaper price what we have seen on NVIDIA. So for that, let me show you. So you can go to United States, and then you can just click on services, click on VPS hosting, and if you see, there are a lot of options like KVM 1, KVM 2, 4 and 8. For running Nemoclaw, KVM 2 is sufficient, but if you want to have a better machine, then I would recommend KVM 4. This is what I have bought. In fact, I just bought it yesterday. If you click and purchase from the link which I have shared in the description, then you would get extra 20% discount, and that would make this whole thing a lot cheaper. Once you have the VPS, then we would be following a couple of steps. That step also I have provided in the description. So first we are going to set up the firewall. Basically, firewall setup would allow like what all ports would be accessible on our VPS. So here we would be allowing 2280 and 443 port on the inside the VPS. So for that, let's go to security, firewall, and here if there is no firewall configuration, just create a one. Let me do it again for you. So let me create a firewall. Let me give Nemoclaw setup. Let me create it now. So we have to enable the firewall. Let's edit it, and inside this we would be configuring those ports. So first is 22. This port is necessary to allow SSH commands, and again we would be configuring 80 port for listening all the web requests, and now we would be configuring 443 port for listening all the HTTPS requests. So once we have added all the rule, we would click on synchronize. Basically, this would help VPS to apply all the configs whatever we have configured over here. So once this would be done, we would be accessing the terminal and we would be executing the remaining commands. Meanwhile that is happening, let's get the NVIDIA API key, which we would be required further down the line. So for that, click on nvidia.com, and here let's log in. I already have signed up on this particular website. If you have not, then please sign it up, and then you would be able to create API keys. Then what you have to do, you have to go to settings API keys. Let me navigate over there. Click on generate API key. Let's give it a name, Nemoclaw YT. Generate the key for that, and once that is done, you just have to keep it handy somewhere so that we can use it down the line. And now if we go, our VPS is also configured with the firewall settings. We would click on terminal, and here we would be executing each and a step one by one. So let's install the Docker and OpenShell. So this would be pretty quick. So what it is saying, we will keep the local version currently installed. Once this would be done, we would be again copying this script and then we would be running it. Once Docker and OpenShell is installed, we would verify whether OpenShell has been installed or not. So okay, let me check. Yes, so it has been installed now. So now we would be go ahead and installing the Nemoclaw over here. So this would take some time. Now once the pre-flight checks are done and OpenShell gateway has been installed, then it would ask for your sandbox name. So here I would be giving as Nemoclaw sandbox. So basically this like how Nemoclaw works is, Nemoclaw first creates an OpenShell gateway, and through this gateway it allows you to access the sandbox. And inside the sandbox, basically it installs your OpenClaw, and all the restrictions it will going to put it on this sandbox. So inside the sandbox you won't be able to run sudo commands or any commands which basically would going to tamper the OpenClaw configuration. Now the sandbox has been created and the gateway has loaded the sandbox. So now it is asking for the NVIDIA API key, which we have generated initially. So let's go back, copy the API key, paste it over here. Now it is asking for the cloud models. So it has the access to Nemotron 3, which is a very powerful model, Kimi K2.5, GLM5, Minimax, Quen, GPT OSS. So for now I'll be going ahead with the first one, and here basically it would ask what all policy presets we want to apply. We'll be going with list, and here we would be giving like npm, pypi, Slack and Telegram. With this we are done with this step of configuring our VPS, and we also have set up OpenShell, sandbox, and now what we would be doing, we would be running our Nemoclaw. So for that we would be doing this Nemoclaw, the name of your sandbox, and connect. So this would, okay, I think Nemoclaw is not available. Let me see. Okay, now this is available. So for running this, we would be doing Nemoclaw, the name of your sandbox, and connect. So now it has run the applications. So till this point our OpenClaw is up and running, but in order to access the dashboard, what we have to do, we have to do the port forwarding. We would be doing this step. For that we would be coming to our terminal on our system, and here we would be putting the server address of our VPS, and that we will be going to find inside the Hostinger. So go to the overview section, and here you would see the IP address. So let me put it here, server, and here I would be putting my password. Okay, seems I entered incorrect password. Yes, so now we would be able to access our VPS server. So with this, now we'll go back to the browser and we'll try to access OpenClaw. So yes, we are able to access it, but we are getting an error, unauthorized gateway token. So basically we need a gateway token with which we can access OpenClaw. So for that, go to the overview. Here basically we have to put the gateway token, and where would we get this token from? So for that, we would be running this in our terminal. Let me run this. So we got the token of ours. Let me copy this, go back to the OpenClaw, put this token here and connect. So yes, so see, the status is okay. And now we will go to the chat section and we would be asking which model you are running. I hope this would say Nemoclaw. Basically that's what we have configured with, and that's the API key which we got. Yes, it does tell you that it is running on NVIDIA Nemoclaw model. So with this, we have successfully ran our Nemoclaw inside the VPS, and there are a lot of things which we can do right now. Like we can configure this OpenClaw with a lot of channels like Slack, Telegram, with your WhatsApp, and do a lot of crazy stuff. So if you want to know more, then please subscribe to my channel.